I realized that I have never sat down and unpacked my stalker experience with you guys. So I'm going to tell you that story, but I do want to reference my phone for notes because y'all, there is a lot to unpack here, and there is an extensive list of events that unfolded over several years. 4 years ago, I got an Instagram DM. And as a creator, you get a high volume of DMs. They're really hard to catch, but I saw this one and something told me to open it. So I did. And it was a very, very flattering message of a young man who was trying to shoot his shot or court me, whatever. It was very flattering. However, I scroll up and there are backlogged messages that show years of attempts of trying to reach out to me. We had no mutual followers, and there's actually a really unique timeline here because I was in a public relationship for 1.5 years. You can see where he messaged me before my relationship became public. He kind of paused the messages while I was in this relationship, and as soon as the public became aware that I was single again, the messages became very, very persistent. This individual had his city and state in his bio, which was states and states away from where I was living, like 600 miles away. So I wasn't worried about it, and I just ignored it, and I just chalked it up to whatever. I continue to check my messages once a week because that is a common way for businesses to reach creators. And while I wasn't opening them, I began to notice that his name was popping up at the top whenever I refreshed my messages a lot of the time. Eventually, I do go view his message request once again because I'm thinking, oh my gosh, this guy is reaching out to me all the time. So whenever I do view his message request, I can see that his tone has shifted from flattery to angry, and you can tell that me not responding is being perceived by the sender as rejection. Initially, my thought process was, if I do not block this person, then they will truly never know if I have ever laid eyes on these messages. They won't ever know they've actually reached me, and that's the way I want it to be. So I continue to not block him and just go about my life. And that is until I start getting Facebook friend requests by accounts with this person's name. Keep in mind, at this point in time, I had a private friends and family only Facebook. So I get this message request and I'm like, I not only delete it, but I block this account. And the second I blocked this account, it was like the same day, he made another new Facebook account and added me again. And this started a cycle. The faster I would block these Facebook accounts, the sooner he would make another one in an attempt to send me a friend request. Then he shows up in my TikTok comment sections and he's being very vulgar. He's saying a lot of false, untrue, and just angry things about me. So I continue to block him. But the faster I block him, the more he makes accounts. It was so unusual. And also at this point in time, I'm a full-time college student and a part-time content creator, and it became so evident that this man had more time on his hands than me because I could not keep up. At this point in time, I get another Facebook friend request from this person, but I actually do a deep dive on his profile before blocking him this time, and what I discover is dozens and dozens of posts of blonde women that he is infatuated with, myself included, but his other interests were like blonde political commentators. Tommy Lauren was his other one that he really, really liked and posted about. But I think all of them had political backgrounds besides myself. But what was really unique is that there was no common theme in these posts. Some of them he would be applauding these women, and others he would basically be calling us evil. I blocked that Facebook account and I'm trying to move on with my life whenever I start getting cryptic emails from this person. And they are just very detailed, in-depth stories of essentially me betraying him throughout our childhood, betraying his family, and he paints me to be this evil figure in all of these stories. So at this point, obviously, I look up this guy's public record and I see, okay, he is 6 or 7 years older than me. So obviously they are not true, but they're not even hypothetically possible. Like, we were never children at the same time. We were never in the same classrooms. I don't know his grandparents like he is insisting that I do. It just becomes evident in these emails that he is genuinely angry and he is convinced with all his heart that I have done heinous things to his grandparents. who I've never met that live 600 miles away from where I was raised. A few days go by, and I get a phone call from my mother. And this is very upsetting. I'm going to try not to get emotional. But she asked me if I have seen this guy's Facebook post, because he had posted a screenshot of the Google Maps aerial view of my childhood home where my parents raised me, that they currently lived in. And he was encouraging people online to ransack their house because they were bad people and they deserved it. This obviously broke my heart because, first of all, my parents did not ask to be in the public eye. I subjected myself to be a creator and to live a public life, but they did not ask for this. They are just good old country folks. They are God-fearing Americans who've worked for everything they have ever had. And so to see somebody that they don't even know put them in danger, that's whenever things got real. My parents contacted the authorities. But since this man does not live in my state, state investigators cannot do anything. So we reach out to his state authorities, and they can't help me because I'm 600 miles away. The number one thing that everyone is encouraging me not to do is to get a restraining order, because they say that's just a piece of paper and that will make things worse. So at this point, we've had no contact. I mean, there is no point where we ever have contact. This man has 3 or 4 active Facebook accounts that he starts to treat like his diary, and even though I would block them from my personal account, my parents and my friends began to monitor them because they were public. On his Facebook diary account, he starts to post accusing me of heinous disasters. He is accusing me and convinced that I am responsible of closed case disasters that took place before I was even born. He is also convinced that I am in cahoots with the Russian government, and he posts it on Facebook all the time. A few days later, he posts a Google Maps route on his Facebook, and it is a route from his town that he lived in to my college town where I was living in. Keep in mind that I'm from Sleepy, Arkansas, so I would post what restaurants that I frequented at. I wanted to promote a local business. I had the same license plate on my truck from the time I was 16, which had my name on it, and I just posted like this for years. Well, I get home from this restaurant, and I am notified on my iPhone that there is an AirTag on my vehicle. I go to his Facebook profile, and this same night, he has posted a picture in front of a hotel that is half a mile from my college house. I can't find the AirTag, but I read on Google that you need to run through a car wash if you can't find an AirTag. In case it's on your undercarriage, you'll knock it off. I go through the car wash, I call the police, there's nothing they can do. Then his mother reaches out to my mom. She tells my mother she's worried for my safety and genuinely believes that I am in danger. She says her son was a good kid all of his life, lost his mind in his mid-20s, has no grasp of reality, and she says that he has been talking about me like he has known me for years. She tried to convince him he doesn't know me, and he gets angry at her and takes it out on her. She said that she was scared for her life, and I should be scared for mine too. It's turkey season. What do? I'm an online college student. I leave town and I go turkey hunting for the next 3 months. I don't stay in the same place 2 nights in a row. I quit posting my present location. I don't stay in the same place more than 1 night, but the harassment of messages and posts and comments will not stop. I thought I was being slick until one of my friends that is also a creator posted publicly that I was with them in real time, and he posted in his little Facebook diary that he was driving to that state. And then he posted that someone needs to end my life. At this point, he has aunts reaching out to me telling me that I'm in danger, but I don't know if that is his aunt or if that is him trying to reach me. A few days later, he posts online that he is going to harm a very well-known branch of a huge global corporation that was local to him, and he gets locked away. A lot of women are encouraged to stay silent on their stalker experiences for their safety, but I want to raise awareness. Ladies, never post where you're going or where you've been.
One time I was severely stalked in high school because my teachers in high school decided to go on strike for 2 months, as they should, because they needed to get paid more. But I ended up getting a stalker because of it. I honestly didn't realize how much it impacted me until I got to my adult years, and now I'm scared that everyone is going to be a stalker. And it honestly traumatized me. Like, I didn't realize it was like such a big deal until I got older. But anyways, let's get into it. My teachers ended up going on strike for like 2-3 months, right? But I was like an A+ student, so I ended up going to school every single day. Like I literally did not miss a day. I was like, the students need me, so I ended up showing up and being a tryhard. And there was this science teacher that replaced our old science teacher. We called them scabs. And they were essentially like designated babysitters. And they really like, I don't know, they knew enough, or maybe they were substitutes, but they definitely were not qualified for the job. So I show up to class every day, and I had class with some of my best friends. So we would always like mess around with the scabs. We kind of like bullied them, but he like thought it was funny and thought we were like hilarious. And for some reason, he was like really intertwined with me and my best friend that ended up going to college with me. And I didn't think anything was weird. He wasn't giving off weird energy while we were in class, but it got weird when my teachers came back. 2 jobs in high school. I was a hostess at my friend's family Mexican restaurant, and then I also worked at Skechers. I know, Shape Ups, I did it all. And he would show up to my place of work in different like disguises. Like one time he showed up in like this weird ass beard, so I didn't recognize him. And then another time he showed up to the Mexican restaurant in a weird hat and a hoodie, and I didn't recognize him at first. But he would sit there and watch me, and it wouldn't be until I noticed that he would leave the property. So obviously that would scare like any 16-year-old. And I started getting like really freaked out, but I didn't really know who to talk to about it. So honestly, I just like let it go. I don't know why I did. Looking back, I definitely should have acted sooner, but I just let it go. So I go off to college, and I go to a school in Michigan, and there is just like no way he would have found out on his own like where I lived. But somehow I got sent like these weird ass weights and then a postcard that said something about Ohio. Like, I seen that you've been bashing Ohio on Twitter. Hopefully this like lightens your mood. Love Ohio or something. And then I got flowers sent to my Michigan workplace, and it was also signed off by Ohio. And I'm like, and I had not posted about my new workplace. So I'm like, what is actually going on? And in my head, I literally didn't think it was him. Like, for some reason, I still didn't think that he would do something this crazy. But then I moved to Chicago, got flowers signed off by, you guessed it, Ohio. But then those were the only flowers I've received in like 2.5 years from Ohio in Chicago. So I just let it go again because I didn't know who it was. Then I moved to Nashville in a brand new apartment complex. No one knew that I moved, okay? Like, I picked up everything on a random Tuesday. Told my mom like the Friday before that I was moving. Like, no one knew that I was really moving. So like day 5 of me being fully moved into my apartment, my friend was living here at the time, and she was like, hey, like she was like walking into my apartment complex, and she's like asking for my name or whatever, and he was like, oh, can you send these flowers up to her? So she calls me, she goes, hey, someone like sent you flowers. And I'm like, wait, what? I was like, no one knows I live here other than like you and my family. And she was like, yeah, they're like signed off by Ohio. And I'm like, what's going on? So I was swapping out furniture, and I go to my Facebook Messenger, and I see these messages. I'm gonna post them right here. It was so incredibly creepy. He pretty much was saying that he's been like watching me. He reached out to my friend and told her he was in love with me. Like, it was actually insane behavior. And he had a name very similar to my best friend at the time's name, and it was just all very bizarre. Reporting him to the police, but of course they didn't do anything. And then I told him to stop contacting me. I tried to put a restraining order, but they said that those messages seemed innocent, which they definitely were not innocent. And then I literally went on with life and never heard from him again, but had to literally block him on everything. And then I'm in cybersecurity, so I found out different IPs and numbers that he was using, and I blocked him on those too. But I didn't realize how much it traumatized me until like my adulthood, where I think like I literally can't go on a date with someone thinking that they're gonna kill me. Like, I don't want any date to know where I live if I don't know them personally. And it's definitely a protective mechanism, but literally insane. Like, I had no idea how bad the trauma was until like 10 years later, I know.
Y'all, I have a stalker and I'm scared for my life. Okay, backstory. So, this girl has been stalking me. Yes, it's a female. Has been stalking me since August of last year. Before August of last year, actually. So, backstory. I had a boyfriend, right, last summer. It wasn't supposed to happen. The relationship was not supposed to happen. It was really just like a summer fling that turned into something more, you know? So fast forward, whatever, we're dating or whatever, and he tells me about this ex that he has that's kind of crazy, that he broke it off with her and they don't talk no more. So I believed him, and he actually did show me the messages and everything, showed me that she was blocked and all that, saying that she was going to ruin his life, whatever. And then he had posted me one day, and I guess she responded to him or like her spam or something like that, and was like, "You lucky I'm having a good day, or else I will ruin your relationship." So I really didn't think nothing of it, because I'm like, I'm not intimidated about that girl. Like, she don't live where he lives. Like, I was not, like, I didn't care. And he said he was done with her, so I believed it, and I took his word for it. So we're dating, whatever. And we broke up around August of last year. But this girl didn't know that, right? She didn't know that. So before we broke up, right, this girl literally was stalking my every move. She didn't follow me on social media, but obviously she knew my page, because my page pops up places, and I was commenting on his pictures and stuff like that. So y'all, this girl literally freaking, mind you, she lives in Miami. I live in Miami. My ex-boyfriend lives in Maryland. So this girl literally would go on my page, look on my shit, and literally this girl literally found out what last check I went to and started going to her. And mind you, me and this last check, I don't go to her no more, but me and this last check was really cool. Like, we was like hanging out outside of like her doing my lashes and stuff, so we would talk on a personal level. Yeah, why did she find out what freaking last check I went to and try to get information out of my last check about me and my ex? Like, my last check would literally tell me everything. Like, she was asking about this. She said, first of all, she told my last check that she knew me. Like, we were friends or something. Like, and so I'm like, huh? Like, this is not my friend. I don't know this girl from a can of freaking paint. Like, I know that she's my ex's ex, but nothing like that. So after she went to my last check and started freaking going to people that I was getting my service providers from, like my service from, I'm like, oh, this girl is weird. So then I started to see this girl outside, like out in Miami, because I would be going out and stuff like that. I would see this girl everywhere. Everywhere I would see her, she would be staring me down like a psycho. I seen her at the bowling alley. I seen her at this outside of this little lounge thing. When I seen her outside the lounge in Wynwood, if y'all from Miami or live in Miami, y'all know Wynwood, whatever, Dunkanu. I seen her right outside Dunkanu, and I was with my cousin and I was with my friend. She was with her friend. As soon as she seen me, she turned to her friend and was like, oh my God, and like started laughing. Like, you know, like it was so obvious that she was about to tell your friend you see me. But I'm like, is it giving fan or is it giving stalker? Because I don't know. And I not seen the girl out again. Y'all, I recently just seen this girl out last weekend, and we was in a section. I don't even know how she got in the section, first of all. But she was in a section with me and my homeboys or whatever. And I didn't see this girl the whole time, because I was in a section the whole time. I didn't see her the whole time. So I'm like, and she was standing beside me the whole entire time, y'all. I didn't even realize it was her. Like, it's crazy. And then as soon as we about to leave the section, she taps me. She's like, oh, I think I know you. And so I'm kind of like lit. So I'm not even paying attention to nobody's face for real. So I turned to her. I'm like, no, it isn't you, bro. No, it's not you. Y'all, this girl literally is fucking stalking me. Like, I'm like, yo. So as soon as she was like, oh, I think I know you. What's your name? And I was like, Lara. She was like, oh, yeah, I know you. And I turned to actually look at her face. Y'all, it was her. And I was like, oh, no. And I literally, like, put my hand on her face and, like, left the section. But it's like, I'm kind of scared, because why are you doing all this over a guy? Or are you just a fan? Like, I don't know. Like, I don't even date the guy anymore. Please leave me alone.
Hey, Pookie. So, don't mind my voice. I'm actually so sick right now. But I want to talk about a really crazy stalker I've been having now for about, like, 5 years. And I just feel like I just need to do this video because it's gotten really, like, intense, and it's gotten to a point where
the world needs to know. And also, like, for my own safety, like, if anything happens to me, y'all know exactly who did it. So it goes way back to when I was dating an XX. So not my last boyfriend, but the one before that. So one day, basically, he just comes up to me and he's like, hey, like, just warning me about this girl. He's like, oh, look, like, she's delusional, this and that, yada, yada, yada. Like, I just want to let you know, da, da, da. Like, he just gave me a warning about her. I'm like, what the fuck? Like, in my head, I'm like, no girl's gonna be crazy for no reason. Like, you must have did something, you know? Like, you must have did something to make her crazy. But turns out she's just crazy for real. So boom, fast forward, why does this girl text me? Like, she DMs me, right? She DMs me like probably like a week later after he warned me, and she's like, she basically just sends like her pictures next to my pictures, and she's like, she starts going off on me. She's like, you're copying me, this and that. Like, babes, is this high school? Like, we are grown. What do you mean I'm copying you? Literally, she goes and she screenshots her pictures, and then she screenshots my pictures, and she's like putting them side by side to each other, and she's like, look, you're copying. Mind you, some of these pictures I had taken before she even took. So I was just like, bro, is this girl crazy? And at the end of the day, like, we all post the same on Instagram. Like, you know, like, I get inspo all the time from girls or whatnot. Like, it's not that deep, you feel me? But if I got inspo from somebody, baby, it was not her. Like, it was not her. But whatever, she was delusional, and she kept putting my pictures side by side and just going off on me. And then she starts talking about my ex, like how my taste, this and that, like just going crazy. And I'm like, whoa, this girl is insane. Like, what is wrong with her? Okay, so boom, whatever. Like, I tell her off. I'm like, leave me alone. Like, you can have the guy. Like, at this point, I'm just thinking, like, you know, she's being boy crazy about this man or whatever. So I'm like, you can have him. Like, I've been done with him at this point, and like, we weren't really together at that point. So it was like, whatever. Like, girl, bye. Like, leave me the fuck alone. So whatever. After that, fast forward, I don't hear from her for like a little while. Okay, so then whatever. So then now I get with my last boyfriend, right? So I get with my last boyfriend, and while I'm with him, like, I'll get like little like threats and shit, like from text-free apps, and like, you know, like, oh, that's why I'm gonna keep your man, this and that, da da da. And like, my intuition always told me it was her, you know. Like, I was like, bro, like, what the fuck, is this girl still like harassing me and stuff? So my intuition always told me it was her and stuff, but whatever, I didn't have proof of that. So I was just like, I would literally not even entertain her. Like, I wouldn't even entertain the messages. I wouldn't do any of that. Okay, so this is like our first encounterment. Boom, she's there like posting. This is like her showing my picture, and then her picture, and then my picture, her picture, and like that, right? Okay, cool. And then she's just talking crazy, swears I want to be her, but okay. So okay, so fast forward to the recents. Let's get into the recents. So recently, hold on, I'm trying to think right now, because what happened first? Oh, okay, so fast forward to recents. My man now. So okay, so he tells me, he's like, yo, like, this girl's thirsty as fuck, like, because she literally DMs him under like a selfie he posted, and she's like, oh, is it packing though? Some thirsty ass shit like that. So he shows me, and I'm like, no fucking way this girl is still like following me around. Like, what the hell? It's been like 5 years now. Like, what is she doing? So whatever, he obviously, my man now, like, he's a good man, Savannah. So he was not with that. Like, he showed me, he told me everything. I'm like, what the fuck? Like, this girl's so weird. So me, out of curiosity, I go on her page. I don't know if me going on like her Twitter page or something really like she got a notification. Like, I don't know. So that sparks curiosity in me. I go on her Twitter page. why, when I'm scrolling through her Twitter page, there's a picture of her dog in, like, me and my ex's apartment. So me and my ex's apartment, like, her dog is, like, on the couch that I'm sure I wasn't living up there at the time, but, like, you know, like, her dog was in the couch in the apartment. Like, I know the apartment, I obviously lived there. So I was like, oh my gosh, like, she was fucking with my ex too. Like, what the fuck? So whatever, I was like, okay, yeah, like, now this girl is really creeping me out. Like, that's crazy. But that's not even the worst part, guys. Like, that's not even the worst part. So, like I said, I don't know if she got an alert or something that I went on her page and, like, I don't know. Like, I definitely didn't like anything or nothing like that. But whatever. Next day, a whole fake Twitter account is made up of me, right? It's a whole fake Twitter account made up of me, and, like, she's basically putting pictures of, like, me next to other girls now she's comparing my pictures to, like, other girls' pictures, and then saying I'm copying other girls. So, like, she's doing that. Like, there's a lot of that, and then there's, like, pictures of, like, because my man had took me to, like, her mess or something for my birthday, and, like, I posted it up, and she posted up, like, a picture of a rapper or something, and she was posting, like, his pictures next to my pictures, or, like, things I would do, and, like, basically trying to say, like, I was out with him. But my man obviously knew, like, he was the one doing all that. So he was like, what the fuck, like, this girl's weird, like, why is she posting that? And then the creepiest thing ever, she posted a picture of, no, it was a video. She posted a video of me and my man walking in my building garage. So, like, I guess I was, like, I got home, like, she followed me or something. I'm like, yo, did this girl follow us here? Like, what's going on? Like, that is creepy. That is creepy. So yesterday she texts me my whole on address. She texts me my school's information. She texts me my mom's information. She texts me my date of birth, like, all the information she has on me, right? And she's, like, pretending on a text-free app, right? She's pretending on a text-free app like it's her mom or something. And she's there like, oh, if you don't, everything she's doing to me, she's saying I was doing to her. Like, and she's pretending to be her mom, and she's like, oh, stop harassing my daughter, I'm gonna go to the cops, da-da-da-da, this, that, and the third. I'm like, girl, please go to the cops so I can file a restraining order on you, because you're weird and you're sick in the head, and what you're not about to do is play on my phone. So it's like, you got my address, you got everything, so it's like, bitch, what the fuck are you doing? Like, what is your issue? So yeah, like, that is just insane. Like, I'm about to show you guys the Twitter receipts. Like, she was comparing me to other girls. This is my friend's brand. Like, anybody's gonna wear that. And then she was comparing, like, me and this girl. Like, girl, you're weird. Like, anybody can go to the Mondrian. Just weird. And then tagging my exes on the Twitter page. Oh, and what she also did was, she made that Twitter page and she went on my man's page and texted all his friends the link through a fake account so they can make sure that it got to him. Like, be messy. So messy. And it's just, like, so many more details in between, and, like, oh my gosh. Like, if anybody knows who this girl is, I'm gonna show her picture now. All I have is her Instagram. I don't know anything else about her. Like, I just need a name, honestly. I can do so much with a name. But let me look for it. This is her Instagram. If anybody has info on her, let me know. Let me know, please. Because this is getting out of hand. Like, the threats, the harassment. Another thing is, like, I just want to know if she's doing this to anybody else, or does she just have it out for me?
Scariest stalkers are not the ones that are obsessed with you. It's the ones that are obsessed with your significant other and think that you're the only thing in the way between them. I actually had a little stalker incident after the Netflix show came out, and they made us take a class before it even dropped, telling us that people were gonna get, like, weird parasocial relationships, we could have stalkers, and just, like, basically, like, safety on what we could do to avoid that. And I don't know why I didn't really think that that like applied to me. I think I forgot that I went on the show when I started like posting on social media after, and that was not a good idea. It's not even the type of stalker that you're thinking. It wasn't they were like obsessed with me. It was actually they were obsessed with my boyfriend that I met on the show, and they had convinced themselves that I was the only thing in the way of them being together. And it was really scary because the Miami police, the San Diego police, and the Texas police like couldn't actually do anything until they actually like did something to me. But this man was calling me and texting me on all these fake numbers, sending me my addresses. I didn't realize how easy it is to get somebody's personal information online by like very minor details, like just honestly a name. Also didn't help that I started getting like 6 million monthly viewers on Snapchat, and I didn't realize that those were actually people. So I'm over here doxing myself, like posting pictures of my dog running to my apartment with my full apartment number in it, and you could literally just like tell the building that I was in from my location. And I'm pretty sure I had said what building I had lived in, and take it as a lesson, because the only reason that he kind of developed that parasocial relationship is because we were nice and we would like answer like if there was a fan edit or something cool, we'd be like, oh thanks, and just like being good people. But now I can't answer random people like I used to because it turned into that. You're gonna think I'm dumb because after all of the threats of him killing me, killing my dog, killing my family, I still got vulnerable with this stalker, told him this was not like him. Like I talked him out of jumping off of a ledge, but I really think he was just lying about doing that because he wanted my boyfriend to talk to him, and that wasn't gonna happen. The scariest part wasn't even that he lived 30 minutes away, so these threats were like very much valid and like doable, but it was that he hated me. Like, he didn't love me. It wasn't like, oh, he wanted to be with me. It was like, he wanted to be with my boyfriend. Yes, he was a gay guy. He wanted to be with my boyfriend. So he actually had all this anger and resentment towards me. And my boyfriend literally lived across the ex-boyfriend literally lived across the country. So it's not like he was going to get to him. So the only way he had to take out his mental anger was on me.
Story time of how I had a 40-year-old stalker while I was in high school. So let's set the scene. I grew up in a very, very small town. Like, there's only 900 people in my town, and my family owned a hardware store where I grew up working every single summer. So it's a town where everyone knows everyone, and this guy I just thought was, like, normally a regular. Like, he started coming in every single day, and he's, like, in his 40s, and he just started coming in every single day and picking me, asking me questions, talking to me about random things not hardware related, and would not leave me alone. It then got to the point where he started coming in multiple times a day, and every single time he would buy something, but I started to realize that everything he was buying was just like completely random. Sometimes it would be like a couple of washers. So like he was literally just buying stuff for an excuse to come in to the store to talk to me. Mind you, I am like 17 years old at the time. I am very much so a minor. When he would come and talk to me, he would be super nervous, like teenage boy nervous, and his hands would shake. He would be super awkward. He was like, there was multiple times he would like run into different shelves and knock things over. Like, I mean, so nervous. This guy was so nervous. But the backstory on him, I don't want to divulge too much information about him, but also he's kind of like a P3DO. He is, right? So anyway, he is very much so abusing substances. He had been for years, and he was hit by a train at one point because he was under the influence. So this guy has some issues mentally, but most importantly, probably from substance abuse. Summer of my junior year, he started coming to the store every single day. This is when it got crazy. And he came in one day and offered me some s'mores. You know, like the graham cracker chocolate marshmallow s'mores, which I thought was really strange because that's a weird thing to offer somebody, s'mores. But I didn't give him a yes or no. I was like, I don't really like s'mores, you know. Anyways, he left, came back in later that day with a plate of s'mores. Turns out he does this a lot. He makes s'mores every single day. He grills them. They're very specific s'mores. They're grilled s'mores, and his name is Mr. S'more. Apparently, he goes by Mr. S'more. Well, I didn't eat the s'mores, but my coworkers did, which crazy. They're insane. He started coming in every single day, bringing me a plate of s'mores. just so he had a reason to come talk to me. And it got super crazy and obsessive to the point where if he came in the store, I would go in the back room and hide. And my coworkers would like pretend that I'm not there, but he knew I was because my car was in the back parking lot. And he would stay in the store. One time he stayed in the store for over an hour waiting for me to come out of the room because he just assumed I was on break or something. And eventually my coworkers would be like, do you need anything? Like, if you don't need anything, you're gonna have to go. Like, we can't just have you walking around because we'd have to keep an eye on you and all this stuff. So he would come in every single day to try and find me. I would go hide and he would literally stand there and wait for me. Crazy. There was one time I was hiding in the back office, which of course is employees only. It's where we keep our safe and like, it's our office, you know, it's where we keep our purses and all our supplies, like our break room, whatever. I was in there with the door closed because I knew he was there. I'm in this back office, I'm sitting there, I'm watching the cameras, and all of a sudden I see this guy walk down the aisle and come to the hallway where our office is. And I was like, he's not gonna do this. Sure enough, a second later, door handle turns, he walks right in the office. And he goes, you are here. Oh my gosh, thank goodness. I really just wanted to see you today. He goes, I just have a very important question for you. And of course he's shaken, he's nervous. He's just like, I just have to ask you something and I can't wait. I really need to ask you something. And my coworkers kind of caught on at this point, so they're waiting at the end of the hallway. They're like, this guy did not just go in the, he did. But the guy goes, he's like, I think you are such an amazing person and I would really like to get to know you more. And I was wondering if I could take you on a date. I was wondering if do you like mini golfing? We could go mini golfing. I really want to ask your dad if I can take you on a date. Take me on a date. A date? You want to ask my dad if you can take me on a date? I'm 17, sir. You're 42. My dad came into the store because my coworkers texted him. He came in the store and he kicked him out. He said, don't talk to my daughter anymore. She's a minor. You're 40 years old. You are not taking her on a date. Get out of my store, okay? Things died down for a little bit. It then got to the point where he knew every single vehicle that my family had. He knew every single vehicle. And he would drive around town, probably constantly all day, trying to spot one of our vehicles. And say my mom goes to the store. If he saw her car in the parking lot, he would go into the store just to see if maybe it was me in the store. He would follow all of our vehicles around town. Jump forward to the end of my senior year. It was my graduation party. I just graduated high school. And we were having my graduation party in my backyard. Again, small town, we had a big backyard. We're sitting out there having a party. Guess who shows up? Mr. S'more. He brought s'mores to my house, to my graduation party. Of course, he didn't get to leave without taking a picture with me. And I actually have the picture of us. I have the picture of us still. Took our picture, and he had come back into the store a few weeks later and gave me a copy of the picture. So I do still have that, mainly for evidence. Normal antics continued to happen while I was working at the store, and I was leaving for college in August, okay? It was my last day of work. My last day of work at the hardware store before I left for school. Thank gosh I was gone on my lunch break. That's when the guy showed up, and my coworkers, being the best people in the world, were like, sorry, she already left for college. You missed her. You missed her. He was very visibly heartbroken, they said. And right as he was leaving the store, I was getting back from my lunch break. U-turn. Did a U-turn in the parking lot. Booked it back out of there. He got in his car and started following me. And I was like, oh, maybe he didn't see me. Maybe he didn't see me. He did. I drove through town, took all these weird turns. The guy kept following me. And I was like, I need to go somewhere public. I'm just going to go to the post office so it doesn't look like I was like trying to run away from him. Parked, went inside, and of course he pulled up and parked his car right next to mine. At this point, I was really scared because what lengths will a desperate guy go? You know, like if he knew I was leaving town and he wasn't gonna see me again for a long time, like what could that trigger in his brain? So I was in this post office and I was just standing there and I was like, he is not leaving. I finally walk out of the post office and of course he was standing there and he's like, I heard you're leaving. I'm going to college. I really wish you could stay. Could you give me one last hug before I go? I don't hug strangers, sorry. Yes, I'm leaving. I'm sorry. It was really nice to know you. Okay, it was really nice to know you. Got in my car and left. After that, packed up and left for college. Like, that was pretty much the end of it, but that was like a crazy end of the story for me. Like, he followed me, and as a high schooler, I was like, oh my gosh, this guy's following me, like, this is terrifying. Come to find out, he moved on to other girls. I think I probably got a little bit too old for him, but he moved on to other girls, and he's tried a new strategy. So instead of giving them s'mores, he started grilling them steaks. That might have worked on me. He's done this with many girls, and I hope he's not still doing it. It's possible that he is. It goes to show you can't be too nice to people, because I think that's what sparked it all. Me being a innocent little high schooler girl working at the hardware store, you know, just trying to be nice in customer service, and some people take that the wrong way, and they really take advantage of generosity and kindness, which is really sad, but it's true. Don't accept s'mores from people at work.
This is very different from my normal content, but I just wanted to come on and share a situation that happened to me in high school. I basically, to cut it short, one of my high school teachers, or a teacher at my high school, was stalking me. I feel like even just saying that line, my heart started to race more, because honestly I haven't talked about it in a while, and it's been almost 10 years since this happened, so I've had time to process. But it's a crazy experience, so I wanted to share. So senior year of high school, I got a job at my local grocery store. It was my first official job, and I was super excited. Of course, I was also, you know, a senior in high school, so I was applying to colleges, all of that fun stuff that comes with your senior year. And basically, this teacher at my school, who I had never had any classes with, he was one of the PE teachers, and I was in high school sports, so I never took our, you know, general PE classes at school. So I had never seen him before, never had any contact with him, didn't even know this man. So one day I was on my break at my job at the grocery store, and I just so happened to not bring my lunch or bring a snack that day to work, so I was down in the deli section waiting in line to buy a sandwich. And this man comes up to me and says, "Are you Kelly Bayer?" I'm like shaking. And at the time, I said, "Yes." And he said, "Hi, my name is, and I am your scholarship advisor from high school." I guess I can say my high school. It was Wilson High School in Long Beach, California. But anyways, he says, "I am your scholarship advisor. I've been looking for you." Which, mind you, these scholarship advisors were not allowed to take any personal information outside of school property or school grounds, obviously, but this man did. So at this time, I was still at the deli counter waiting on my sandwich, and one of my coworkers behind the counter, this woman, she said, to me, she said, "Oh yeah, he's been coming up here all the time asking where you are, showing your picture, wondering where you are." And to that, I was like, what? So at this time, I just say, obviously, like, "Hello, nice to meet you, glad you found me," type of thing. But in my gut, I was feeling so weird about it. Mind you, every time he came into the store, because after I had met him, he was coming in almost every day that I was working there, but he would wear sunglasses so I could never see his eyes. And he wasn't just doing his normal grocery shopping. All he would buy, I vividly remember, because I was a cashier at the grocery store. He would come through my line, and all he would buy was a banana and a Snickers bar. That's not normal grocery shopping. That's like, he just came there to see me. One day I remember I was working, I was on the clock walking around, you know, picking up items or putting something away in the grocery store, and we had a Starbucks in our grocery store, and he was like, "Oh yeah, since I'm helping you, by the way, this is my favorite Starbucks order, so you can buy me Starbucks." And at that point I was like, okay, at that point in like this whole situation of him coming in, I was basically trying to avoid him, obviously, because I felt very creeped out. But to wrap everything up, one day, of course, I had told my manager about this, and one day I was working the cash register, and my manager was great. She said, okay, the next time he comes in and he comes through your line, call over the speaker and switch spots with me. So, lo and behold, of course, who would have guessed he was there? He comes through my line with his banana and his Snickers, and I'm like shaking because I'm helping someone check out with their groceries, but I see him come in my line. So I call over the speaker, we switch out, I go into our back office, and my manager's manager or boss was in there, and he called the police, and the police came, and he was not allowed back in the grocery store. And I had also, of course, told my family about this, and my dad and my grandpa, they had come to my shift that day, and they were waiting in the parking lot, and I don't know why I'm like almost starting to cry. It's just really scary. But anyways, when he was walking out, my dad and grandpa went up, and I don't know what they told him. I'm sure it wasn't anything nice. But yeah, it was just really nice that my dad and grandpa were there to protect me. But anyways, I brought this to the school, of course, and one day in class, the principal called me up to the office, and if you know Wilson High School, it's a 4,000 kid school. So when you're called to the principal, like, you know, people know, and I'm a good kid. I had never been called to the principal's office, so my heart was racing. But anyways, the principal at the time just had me write a report, and apparently this teacher had worked at a school prior in the district and was, not allowed to work at that school anymore because of some inappropriate conduct that he had done with other students in the PE/sex ed classes. So anyways, all that to say is, if you have a gut feeling, or if you're just feeling off, if a teacher or someone is being weird, tell everyone you know, and be your own advocate. Thankfully, everyone that surrounded me at my job and at school and my family were all really supportive, and I'm very thankful for that. But I feel like I wouldn't say it's like a chip on my shoulder, but I feel like I've been, like, I don't know, I just see the worst in everyone and don't trust anyone until they've earned my trust. But in situations, if I'm alone anywhere, I'm always looking over my shoulder. I really never think anyone has good intentions, especially men, because you never know, and unfortunately your gut does know, and a lot of the time they don't have good intentions. So I never thought anything like this would happen to me. You never think something like this would happen to you, but it's really crazy and it can happen. So ladies, stay on your guard, trust your gut, and love you so much.
Welcome back, beautiful people. Today we're going to be talking about another job story time, so seatbelts buckled. We're about to talk about my first ever stalker. Yeah, this one's a weird one. So before I came to college, I had to come to orientation, but here we call it SOAR. At SOAR, we're paired into little groups. That's how you meet people, you talk to the new people, you exchange social medias. We're all coming into this new experience. We need to band together. And so I did. I shared my social medias with my group. We all exchanged phone numbers. We were all super excited, buzzing with excitement to start our collegiate career. We're all going around the circle talking about what our names are, where we're from, what our majors are. We're going around doing our little formalities, and one of the guys in the group, we're gonna name him Javier. So it's Javier's turn. He says where he's from, and he's from a town that is right next to my hometown. So I'm like, oh, okay. Bondage immediately. Like, bonding. Not that kind of bondage. I'm like, okay, bet, Javier, he seems cool. Like, we have something in common already, right? Bitch, wrong. Then he starts talking about his major, everything, blah, 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 whatever. My turn. Hi, I'm Christina. I'm from insert hometown here. Immediately, his eyes widen. So we go around the circle, we finish talking. As soon as we're done with that little icebreaker game, we are allowed to get up and go and explore and look around the new campus. And what does Javier do? He decides to follow me and my mother. So me and my mom were walking around, looking at all the different little buildings, walking my classes, and Javier is behind us. To Javier, when we were talking about the hometowns, do you have a job? Like, what do you do? And he says where he works. I say where I worked at the Dick's Sporting Goods in my hometown. Fun fact, there is only one Dick's Sporting Goods in my hometown. The next closest one is going to be like 30 minutes away. Me saying where I lived, plus that I worked at Dick's Sporting Goods, he easily put 2 and 2 together. The rest of SOAR continues. The weekend was great. Back home without a second thought. Super excited to begin my collegiate career. It was summertime. I was just getting ready to get through summer so I could get to college. Means that I was working virtually every day to try to save my coin, save my bag, because your girl was hustling. After SOAR, Javier had followed me on everything. He'd also gotten my phone number, and he had started trying to text me. I thought Javier was a cool guy, as in a friend. When he was texting me, of course, at first, on some friend shit, I responded. It increasingly got worse and worse and worse, and weirder and weirder and weirder. He started saying things like, why aren't you responding to me? What are you doing? Why aren't you responding to me? Spamming my phone, y'all. Sometimes I would say, oh, I'm at work. Great excuse. I love saying that I'm at work. And genuinely, I was. And I could have been on my phone talking to him, but I don't want you. Like, the fuck? Get off my line. Javier takes it upon himself to start calling me while I'm at work. He's like, if you're actually at work, pick up the phone so I can make sure that you're at work. Obviously, no, you psychopath. I'm not going to do that. At this point, I fully had stopped responding to him at all, y'all. He was just spamming my phone to no avail because I was not responding to his antics. A couple days later, I'm at work, and he hadn't sent me a text in a while. I'm thinking the worst of it is over. I'm thinking we are done. He's finally gotten the hint. He's off. Boy, was I wrong. I'm sitting up front, checking people out, other than Javier walks through the double sliding doors of Dick's Sporting Goods. I told you that we lived in neighboring hometowns. This hometown had the other Dick's Sporting Goods that was 30 minutes away from mine. There's no reason why he should be in my side of the tracks. Does that make sense? Everything he would have needed is 5 minutes, maybe 10 minutes away from him. So for him to come to find me is going out of his way. Checked my phone as I see him walk through the doors because I was like, oh my God, did he mean to do this? Sure enough, as I was at the register, he had called me 4 times, texted me and said, I'm gonna find out if you're actually at work. Or, excuse me, what? He walks in through the doors. He stops, he sees me at the register, and he walks up with a smile on his face. I look at my coworker, I go, I'm gonna go to the bathroom. I'll be right back. I go to the bathroom, I come back up, and he is still waiting there for me. Over to him, and I'm like, hey, Javier, how are you? Start making small talk. What are you doing here? You know, this is beyond freaky. Like, you were freaking me out. This is not okay. He ends up getting kind of aggressive with me, y'all, and he's like, well, you weren't responding to my texts or my calls, so I had to make sure that you weren't lying to me. I'm sorry. He asks when I get off so that he can wait for me outside so that we can hang out. I'm like, I don't want you. How about that? No. I tell my coworker, I'm like, I'm going on break. I go find my manager in the back and I'm like, hey, this guy, he's here. I met him in Charlotte. He is now in my hometown. This is incredibly weird. I do not want him like that. I do not want to hang out with him like that. Like, please help me out in this situation. So my manager's like, okay, perfect. We're going to switch you around. We're going to put you in footwear for the night so that you're not up at front with him. And I'm going to ask him to leave. And I was like, okay, perfect. I think we're done, right? He leaves after my manager talks to him and he does not text me, does not call me, does not say a word. I'm like, oh my God, he finally got the hint. Thank God. We just needed to have an adult in the situation. Or so I thought. I worked again the next day. I'm up front. It's another regular shift. I'm surely not thinking anything, especially regarding Javier, is going to happen because he's gone. No, baby. About 3 hours into my shift, I see those sliding doors slide right open and he walks in. What's funny is my manager was standing at the door, but this was a different manager. He was standing right at the door. Javier sees him and immediately walks up to him and starts asking for Christina, aka me. And he turns to the registers and he sees me and he immediately hops in line, grabs a drink, hops in line, and then specifically waits for me. This motherfucker starts talking to me like everything is normal, like it's peach and dandy and fine that he's here, like he is not driving 40 minutes out of his way, one way, to come see me every day. He was coming in every single day and asking managers if I was working. My managers were calling me and texting me when I was off the clock. Hey, that guy came back. He asked if you were working. We told him no, you need to be safe. At this point, it was common knowledge to all of the employees that this man was no bueno. He was out to fucking get me because I don't know what the fuck he's doing. He was going to more than managers at this point. He's going to in every department asking if they've seen or heard from me, where I am, what I was doing. Like, it was kind of scary. I'm getting texts from coworkers. A guy came in asking if you were here today. He was asking where you were. You weren't responding to his texts. Oh my god. I was genuinely getting scared. Manager, please do not put me on the register up front. Like, this man, like, what if he's coming to me? You know, like, what the fuck? I don't know. Manager starts scheduling me in the back end footwear. I start working back there until the very last day that Javier ever comes in. He walks in the store, asks an employee who's standing up front where I am. They did not know that I wasn't supposed to be contacted by this man. So they tell him that I'm back in footwear. He comes back to footwear and he sees me and he immediately starts speed walking towards me. My heart dropped out of my asshole. I see him approaching and I turn to one of the footwear associates and I'm like, oh my god, that's him. Help. Like, what the fuck do I do? Before I can even figure out what I should do, Javier is standing right next to me. I'm running out of time, y'all, so you're gonna have to follow or come back for part 2. But comment, let me know some of the things that you guys would have done if you were in this situation, and stick around if you like these story times. Have a great day. Ever have someone start showing up to your job every day? Oh, I did, so you don't have to. This is part 2, story time with my stalker. Seatbelts buckled, ladies and gents. We left off, Javier was standing right next to me. Before I could even evacuate the situation, he was already right next to me, ready to talk. At the DSG, we had a code. It was called Fitting Room 5, something that you set on the walkie whenever you absolutely needed help, and a manager would immediately appear wherever you said that you are, because there was no Fitting Room 5. We only had 4 fitting rooms. So standing next to me, Javier begins to run that little mouth. Why haven't you been returning my calls? I've been calling you, I've been texting you, I haven't heard from you. You think you can just ignore me now? Y'all, he is getting aggressive. My coworker cuts in and he starts responding. Oh, so you're the creep that's been here stalking my coworker. Who are you? Why are you so upset? How the two start squabbling and going back and forth on my little walkie. Like, I have an athlete, can't get to fitting room 5 yet because I'm stuck in footwear. From there, my manager knew exactly what to do. He came to footwear. 3 of us are still going back and forth. Javier is still yelling. He's getting upset that I could ever ignore him and put him on red, and I was his love. My manager tells me to go to the back and escorts Javier off the premises, banned from Dick's Sporting Goods. All that did make me feel better. I just knew that that was not going to be the end of part 2 because we were going to the same college. I knew exactly where I was going to be living because we had talked about it at orientation. As time went on, Javier became a distant memory. I'd see him passing in the dining hall. All of a sudden, Javier looked completely different. His hair was dyed black, his nails were painted, he had piercings all in his face. Mind you, he was giving little golden retriever boy vibes when I met. And now he was giving grunge emo punk god, which no hate to that, but that is a complete aesthetic switch. And all of a sudden, he's in with the skaters. Time continues to go by. We're now in our sophomore year of college. My original roommate, aka the girl that I shared a room with, we decided to get a dorm together the next year, and it's a 4-room, 4-person dorm. So we've upgraded a little. Me and my friend end up going through some tough stuff together. So she ends up wanting to get on Tinder. As she does, her grown folk business. As she's playing Tinder one day, she's swiping left and right. She swipes on this guy. They hit it off in the Tinder chat, then it moved to Snapchat, then it moved to phone number. Then she tells me that he's also part of the skater group. That was 100% her type. The bad boy skater emo boy. Ends up showing me this boy, and guess who it is, guys? None other than Javier himself. Immediately, I said, friend, this is not a good guy. He was my very first stalker. Like, you should not get involved with him. She's like, I don't know, though. Like, he seems like a really good person. Maybe he's changed. You said that he looked completely different. Maybe he really had a whole lifestyle switch. Girl, I'm trying to tell you, we almost got the police involved. It was that bad. You should probably not go see this man. She's like, no, like, let me just go on a date with him, like, see what happens. I'll know from there if the vibes are weird, if he's still a creep. At the end of the day, she's a grown motherfucking woman, but she was really fighting for this guy. So I was like, okay, but keep your location on, and I will be checking. The 2 of them end up getting together and going on a date. Around campus, they go to the botanical gardens. They have themselves a great time. They're climbing on top of buildings, looking the devil's lettuce, doing different things as a young, cute, emo alt couple does, I guess. It was his idea to bring the devil's lettuce. I'm nowhere near them. But as they get done with whatever their date consists of, they start walking back to her dorm, aka my dormitory. They make their way across campus, they get back, and she is planning to leave him at the base of the dormitory because she is not bringing him into our... because I told her specifically, I said, do as you please with this little boy. If you like him, that's great. We can discuss further. I just have one request. Do not let him in this dorm building. Do not let him even step foot, and don't tell him what our room number is. Nothing. I do not want him to have any of my information. Of course, she agrees, because that would be crazy if she didn't. But as they're walking back to our dorm, he starts getting a little weird. She's like, okay, I think I'm gonna go upstairs now. That was really fun. Thank you for having me, blah, blah, blah. He goes, what? You're gonna leave me here? Not gonna invite me into your house after we just spent the whole day together? At this point, she's like, He's like, no, I want to come upstairs. I'm coming upstairs. You know how much money I spent on you? We just smoked the devil's lettuce. Let's just say you're fucking broke, okay? And she was like, no, that's okay. Like, I really don't feel comfortable with that. I think I'm just gonna go upstairs. This man starts making a full-blown scene at the lobby of our dorm building. His hooting and hollering attracted the attention of the security guards who were walking back from their patrol. They walked up to the situation. They asked if it was okay, and she said, yeah, I'm fine. I'm just trying to go back into my dorm. Looks at Javier, and he's like, and then he finally walks away. And he starts sending her paragraphs on Snapchat, telling her how she's incredibly rude. He spent so much money on her and spent so much time with her, and how it was super inconsiderate for her to not allow him into her space. She ignored him because she realized that this man was fucking crazy. Basically, the moral of this story, I don't know what would have happened if he would have found our living space, because he knew that we were roommates. The way that he came after me, I'm just terrified that he would have started going after her if it wasn't for those security guards even. Thankfully, I haven't had to deal with him since. Hopefully this doesn't bring him out of the ashes, but all of you guys have a great rest of your day. Stay safe. You know what you would have done if you were in this situation, and follow for more story times. Bye.
Okay, so this is a story about how I got a job at the beauty supply store, and me and the owner/boss ended up in court under some very crazy circumstances in regards to his actions. But let's get it. So this was about 6 years ago, 5 years ago, somewhere around there. Anyway, let's get to the point. So I used to frequent this beauty store all of the time because it was around the corner from my then home. And mind you, I already had a job at the time, and I was straight. But every single time I would go into this store, he would offer me a job, and I would always be like, no, that's okay. You know, I'm already working, whatever. So one day, I go in there like normal, getting my little lashes or whatever. And he was like, why don't you come work for me? You know, he's short-handed, this and that. And I don't know, I guess I was feeling like 2-job shawty that day, because I was like, all right, let's do it. So I fill out the little paper application. I don't even think he looked at that shit, but I got hired on the spot. So I start coming to work, and this was the first sign that something was off about him. We got our paychecks, right? Mind you, the pay is very minimal, which is another reason why I didn't want to take on the job, because I didn't feel like it was worth my time. I got my paycheck, and he overpaid me like hundreds and hundreds of dollars. Hundreds and hundreds and hundreds. I was not complaining. I did not question it. Who would? But that was the first thing. I was like, all right, he's on some other shit, which I feel like I kind of already knew deep down. But boom, so that happens. I keep on working. And one day my phone got cracked, right? And he was like, oh, your phone's cracked, you know, whatever. So this was when the iPhone 11s had, I think it was 11s or 12s, had first came out, right? So he comes in and he buys me a brand new Pro Max. And it's like this olive green color. I think the man spent like $2,500 on it. I don't know. But I feel like this is where I went wrong. I accepted that gift. I accepted it. I knew. Okay, y'all, it is a whole new day. So back to where I was at, where I feel like, where I feel like I went wrong was accepting that gift, because I tried to listen to him, and he was like on some shit where it's like, okay, well, I need to be able to reach you for work, and your phone's messed up, it's all cracked. So I tried to lie to myself and tell myself that he was just being a nice guy, but deep down I knew, and that's where I can take accountability. Like, I should not have accepted that, but I did not know at the time that this man was really, really, really sick in the head. So by me accepting that gift, in his head, it was like, she's mine. And yeah, so okay, y'all, we get back to work. I just start peeping this man doing like some really strange stuff. For example, he would go in the bathroom, take a big shit, then he would cook rice in the bathroom, and then he would eat the rice in the bathroom where he just took a shit. Literally the definition of shit where you eat. He was shit where he eat. That's rule number 1. But anyway, so y'all, yeah, that, and then he was like sleeping on a cot in the wig room, coming out head all messed up and shit. Just weird activities. Then he starts with that stuff where he's walking behind the counter trying to fake scrape up against me, rub up against me, like, oops, my bad. Nah, not your bad, you meant to do that. So y'all, let's get to the very weird shit. So one night, I'm at home chilling. For those of you who don't know, I sell products. I make them myself. I sell them. Okay, my neighbor always bought a specific product for me. She got off work late, 12:30 at night. I run outside to her car when she got home, sold her a product. This man starts blowing my phone up. Talk about the phone was smoking. And I didn't answer, of course. So he texts me, and in this text, it said, you cannot come back to work tomorrow because I just saw you sell something to describe my neighbor to a T. Described in a silver Honda Civic to a T, which meant this man was outside of my house, fuck that earring, watching me. He was outside of my house watching me. Mind you, he did not know where. Okay, y'all, I'm going to try to make this as quick as possible. I'm on break, but like I said, I found out that he was watching me. Y'all, please do not judge me, but I ended up going into work the next day. I was young, y'all. I was young, and I had been giving up all my shifts because I was making such good money at this place. And I was a single mother, and I have bills to pay. Again, I should have never went back. You know, we live and we learn. So I go in the next day, and thank goodness he was not there. My coworker, Jessica, was there. So Jessica ends up going home early. As Jessica is going out, he is coming in. My heart literally dropped. But he was actually acting like nothing ever happened. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to just play it cool. I'm not going to say anything. So I'm working. He comes up behind the counter and he's like, do you want to go to dinner with me? I'm about to close the store early. Delusional, y'all. And I said, I'm sorry, I can't. I just made something up because I know at this point this man is crazy. So I just made something up. And y'all, something in me said, leave. Something in me told me to get out of there. So I said, listen, Bob, I'm going to have to go. I am sick to my stomach. I feel like I've got to throw up. Like, I need to go. And so he says that he needs to leave too. And he's shutting the store down. So he starts cutting off all the lights, which is normal procedure. And he goes to lock up the door. Normal procedure, because you have to count down the cash in the registers. Y'all, he comes up behind the counter. I had on a zip-up shirt similar to this one. He ripped my shirt open and said something so sickening to me, and he tried to assault me. I then proceeded to kick him into a hair rack. I got him off of me and I ran. And y'all, thank God he kept those keys in that door. Had he not, I would have been locked in that store. And it does not end here. It gets worse and worse. But thank God I escaped that attempted assault. So, and I'll come back with a part 3, y'all. I've got to go back to work. Okay, y'all, this is part 3 of my ex-boss turned stalker turned worst nightmare. So, I got some messages asking me if I could go a little bit more into detail. I have been through some crazy shit, so I don't mind doing that. Basically, when the attempted assault happened, there was behind the cash register, there was a little corner like this. When he came behind there, he cornered me into that corner. He ripped my shirt down and he said these exact words: "Me so horny, me no have sex in 2 years." Ooh! Anyway, moving along. By the grace of God, keys were in the door. By the grace of God, it was not my 18-year-old coworker, and it was somebody like me that had been through some things and was able to fend for myself. But let's move along. I go straight to the police department. I press charges. Showed them like phone evidence, all the things. I go home, go to sleep. Next day, wake up, go to work, to my real job. After work, my then best friend came and stayed the night with me. She was there for emotional support, all the things. So everyone around the area knew to be on the lookout, BOLO, for this man's vehicle. They knew what he looked like. They knew what his car looked like, as well as my best friend. So it was like a white BMW SUV type situation. My best friend goes outside to get something out of her car. She comes shooting back through the door. She says, "Drea, that man is outside your house watching." I was like, "You're lying." And peep out, he's out there. He's watching. He's bold, baby. He's bold. He didn't get arrested, by the way. So we call the cops. Cops come. 2 male officers come in. We're telling them everything. My friend is still so shook up. We're telling them everything. And one of the men knew Bob. They were family members maybe, or close friends, don't know. But when he found out, he was like, "Bob? You mean Bob Lee?" "Yes." "The one that owns the hair?" "Yes." After that, he disregarded everything I fucking said. He didn't take anything that I said seriously. And the cop that was with him followed the lead, baby. And they left. They just left us there defenseless. Bob still just riding around, terrorizing, doing what Bob does. So, time goes on, the harassment. Okay, like I was saying, the harassment continued, the phone harassment continued, the text harassment continued. It was getting crazier and crazier. I did not feel safe in my own home. The police were doing nothing because apparently everybody knew Bob. And the text said stuff along the lines of, "You're mine. You're forever going to be mine. You're always going to be mine. I better not ever see you with nobody else." Like, when I tell you the most craziest shit, thousands of texts that I had printed out ready for court. One day, y'all, broad daylight, 8 o'clock in the morning, somebody's beating my door down. Mind you, I had a metal screen door at that house. Beating that down. I get up, I run to the door. Y'all, it was him. It was Bob. Broad daylight. Bold. Called the police. They come. By the time they get there, he's gone. Again, nothing was done. So y'all, my cousin, if anybody knows my cousin Julian, they know that he's local and he ain't going. So he comes and starts staying the night just so I feel safe in my own home. So yeah, but this man didn't care, y'all. I mean, he just did not care. Nothing shook him. I mean, he felt invincible, 10 foot tall and bulletproof. I give him that. He was not scared of nothing. So court is approaching now. Court's approaching. I got all my ducks in a row. I got every single text, every single time that he has pulled up, all that shit printed out. I am ready. And I wanted to let y'all know that part 4 is going to be coming a lot sooner. I'm off work tomorrow, out of school, so I'm going to be recording that hopefully today, but it's going to be up a lot sooner. And I appreciate all the women who commented, supported me, but under that first video, those comments, some of those comments from women, I mean, didn't surprise me at all, but it was also very sad. Luckily, I have tough skin and love myself, but do better. You know what I'm saying? Do better. This is nothing compared to what I've been through. I could really tell y'all some real shit and how I overcame it that would really help a lot of women. So instead of focusing on this, just focus on the shit that's coming out of my mouth. If I wanted to draw my lip liner to my eyelids, then that's what I'm a motherfucking do. Now stay tuned, because it gets crazier. Love y'all. This is part 4 to my ex-boss turned stalker turned worst nightmare. So court is approaching. I have all my ducks in a row. And when I mean in a row, I mean lined up, baby. I have everything. I have every single text this man has ever sent me. I have documented every time he's pulled up at my home. I had everything. And I want y'all to know that attempted assault was on camera. But it was on Bob's camera. So somehow it mysteriously was never resurfaced. But the court date comes. And I go in with my thick ass folder and I'm ready. You know, it's my time to shine. Like, I've been looking over my shoulder too long. Like, I'm ready. And this was not a case where, like, there were lawyers involved or anything like that. It was like, I don't know, y'all will see what I'm talking about. So my friend goes with me for support. The judge calls my name and I go up to the little podium thing that's in the middle of the courtroom, and I start presenting to him my evidence, my case, and I'm telling him about what happened that night of the attempted assault. I start telling him about the stalking, and before I can say anything else, he cut me off, and he said, "Dismissed. Your case is dismissed." I'm talking about rude, ugly. Just the way he was looking at me, y'all. The way he was looking at me, I'll never forget. I've gotten that look many times. But, yeah. So, case was dismissed. I was in shock. And I was like, but sir, like, I have the evidence. Dismissed! I said it's dismissed, ma'am. So, I closed my little folder. And I take my dismiss ass on going towards them double doors. In that moment, I felt like I did not matter. Best way to describe it, I felt like a piece of shit. That's how I felt. But before I could even get to those double doors, I hear a lady call my name, first and last name. She was in the little corner room of the court. It's like a little corner and a little room up in there. She calls me in there. She closed the door. I sat down. Y'all, this lady had tears in her eyes. She worked for the court. Anyway, she had tears in her eyes, and she said word for word, "I am so sorry. I cannot believe what I just witnessed in that courtroom. I have never saw so-and-so judge act like that. I want to see your evidence." I gave her the folder. She opens it. I see that she's going through all of the printouts of the text messages. Y'all, tears started rolling down her cheeks, like actual tears. She said, "I have never, in my 20 whatever years of doing this, I have never saw anything like this. I have never saw text messages like this. I've never saw anything like this. Like, I'm genuinely scared for you." She said, "We are not going to let this go." Like, I don't know what just went on in there, but she knew it was something. Something was fishy, you know. So she said, "Let me ask you something. Do you want to go further with this?" She said, I'm not willing to let it go. And I'm like, "I'm with you. I mean, yeah." So she told me to follow her. I follow her. And it's like we all the way back to step one, y'all. I start filling out a report on everything that happened to me. And in this moment, I'm feeling very much exhausted. I'm feeling exhausted. But I'm just like, no, I'm just not going to let this go. But guess what, y'all? Unfortunately, it was dismissed. Everything was dismissed. I never got any justice for myself. So as I was saying, I didn't get any justice. I had to move on. I had to keep it moving. I healed from the situation, moved on to bigger and better things, you know? Can't stay stuck on the shit. Keep it moving. So y'all, and as far as the store, that store ended up closing down. I heard the roof caved in. He lost all business, blah, blah, blah. So y'all, let's get to it. About 10 months ago, I get a letter in the mail. Open it. It is a subpoena. They want me to come to court to testify about the things that he did to me, but not in my honor, to be a Me Too girl. Because guess what? He did it again. He got another victim, y'all. But I think he did much worse to her. Yeah, had they taken my case seriously, he wouldn't have been able to victimize anyone else. But I don't know. This girl mattered. She mattered to the people in the court. Of course she matters, but she mattered to them. So I don't know. Maybe she looked a little different. Maybe her family was someone that the courts knew, but for whatever reason, they just took her case a lot more serious than mine. I still have not been to court for that situation. I guess it keeps getting pushed and pushed. I don't know. But, so we'll end it there. I don't know if it got thrown out. Like, I really don't know. But, okay, update on him. He ended up being married, having a wife and a kid in like 3 cities away from here. And he has since opened up another beauty supply store down here in a different location. So that's the last that I've heard of him, and I do not care to ever see nor hear from him ever again in life. And I pray for the other victim. You know, I pray for her. You know, I don't know who she is, but I pray for her. So yeah, y'all, I mean, I appreciate everybody who wrote, supported me. If y'all have any questions, drop them below and I will answer them. And yeah, if y'all want to hear more like real life shit, y'all follow your girl. Love y'all.
Instagram coming out with the location feature reminds me of why I had to turn my location on Snapchat off. So I'm gonna tell you the story of how I kind of had a stalker because of Snapchat location. Back when I got my first job at my first Chipotle location, there's this guy there who was training me. His name, we're gonna name him Ryan. He was like this, at the time, I thought he was cute, like little Hispanic man. He was like a year older than me, and I had just gotten out of a relationship, bitch, and I was single and ready to mingle. I have to say that I had the biggest crush on this kid, like literally ever. He was that kind of guy where he was an asshole, but he was an asshole enough to where it was like kind of funny and like kind of like attracted me a little bit. Do you know what I'm talking about? My type is assholes. I don't know, I can't help it. Anyways, but even though he was kind of an asshole, he was like one of my first friends that I had made there because he, you know, he was training me. Didn't get super close, but I took a liking to him. But unfortunately, he had a girlfriend at the time, so he eventually quit and we stopped having communication and blah blah blah, whatever. That was back in 2019. Okay, so let's fast forward to, it was either end of 2023 or like beginning of 2024 because my TikTok was just starting to kind of take off a little bit. Obviously, he wasn't with his girlfriend at this point, and we had rekindled. I can't remember if it was like on a dating app or if it was just through Instagram because he followed me or something like that. I don't know, but we started talking again. And at this point, like, I was entertaining it because I was bored. I wasn't talking to Mr. 5'3" anymore, you know, so I needed some hoes, but I really wasn't gonna do anything with him just because I wasn't like attracted to him anymore. You know when you really like somebody a long time ago and you're like, damn, like this is the most attractive person I've ever seen, but then like a couple years pass by and it's like they finally want you and you're kind of like, ew, get away from me. That's how it was, but I entertained it anyways. Remember, he kept like begging me to basically like see him and stuff like that, and I kept like kind of like, you know, finding excuses not to. And one day he was talking about like smoking me out or something like that, and I had made a joke. I can't remember exactly what it was, but it was like me saying I'm down at some point, not that specific night. I swear this man like has a fucking pee for a brain. He took that as me saying like, yeah, come over right now. Mind you, I've never given this man my address. I had my Snapchat location on because I always had it on. I never really thought anything of it. So 20 minutes or so roll by. All of a sudden I get a text from him and he's like, hey, I'm outside. I'm like, what? Mind you, bitch, it was late as fuck at night, okay? And in my apartments, you can hear literally everything that goes on outside. So I heard a car pull up, but I didn't think anything of it, obviously, until I got that motherfucking text. And then I could see the fucking bright ass light shining through my apartment. I'm like, oh, hell no. I cannot make this shit up, y'all. He used my Snapchat location to find my apartment, to pull up on me without even asking me. And then like 15-20 minutes of us going back and forth of him like trying to come inside until I finally heard his car pull off. Like, oh my god, that is so fucking weird. And I remember I took him off of literally everything. I started leaving him on delivered and stuff like that. And I remember he texted me one night. He was like, did I do something wrong? Are you fucking stupid? What do you mean, did you do something wrong? Yeah, so basically since then I've had my location on every single app off. Yeah, safe to say I'm kind of traumatized.